So the Miami Heat are the 2013 NBA champions. Big fucking whoop. That's something that I would almost expect out of them. It's something that all of us should have expected out of a team that has three of the biggest superstars in the universe on it. This is basically the reason why this team was assembled. I don't say big fucking whoop because I'm a Spurs fan or a crybaby or anything like that. No, quite the contrary. In fact, I just am not a huge fan of teams that are assembled for this very reason. Where basically owners and investors break the bank in order to create a super club, which is something that's been very guilty and used by teams such as the New York Yankees and even the New England Patriots in order to build a super franchise, one that's basically destined to win. The Heat winning this championship in 7 games is actually more of a surprise than anything else. For San Antonio, yes, they were a fantastic team throughout the entirety of the season. Not to mention, they themselves boast their own core of super talent, with Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan, basically the ageless wonders. That is the one thing. The Spurs definitely had age to their disadvantage, and while they were still playing at a very high level, and got fantastic results from Danny Green and other rookies and younger players, this is still something where it was a disadvantage that they did have that age, and it started to show in the waning minutes of game number 7. This is one thing where the younger kids, the younger team will almost always win. And, well, let's face it, the fact that it took 7 games was definitely a testament to the Spurs' resolve. However, the Heat winning it in 7, that'll be the story, because it'll be a testimony of their resolve. Considering they came back to win Game 6 in overtime, a game that almost seemed destined to be the final game of the series, and then were able to hold on to win game number 7 tonight. I've always hated the New York Yankees, principally because they've always been able to use George Steinbrenner's bank and the lack of a salary cap in baseball in order to create mega clubs. You know, the type of club like you see this year that actually has a worse record than the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates, who for 20 straight years haven't had a record above 500, currently are outpacing the New York Yankees. And yeah, the Yankee fanboys are going to come on here and say, well, they have a ton of superstar injuries. Big fucking whoop. Half of our pitching staff here in Pittsburgh is down, and yet we're still finding ways to beat teams. The Yankees have always been that classic example of why greed is apparently good in baseball. But also, it's something where you can tell that someone was eventually going to find out a way in order to use that example and really exploit it even within the salary cap limitations. With restructuring new rules, things like that. Clearing up space. Yeah. You would think that paying a couple of people ridiculous amounts to tempt them to come to a super club would come with severe risks and benefits. The benefits are, of course, the fact that you have some of the best players on the universe, whereas the risks are supposed to be that you have to develop the rest of the club that's probably at about a 6th grade basketball level. Okay, that part is a little bit far-fetched. However, you get the point. However, that's very rarely the case. Is this necessarily because they're able to develop great teams, they're great coaches and everything like that to begin with? Well, we are going to give credit where credit's due. They definitely have to do something. And the fact that there is great leadership on these teams, even if it's sometimes hard to assume who actually is the leader, Kobe and Shaq come to mind, well, they're still able to do something in order to put together a championship franchise. Is it necessarily just the fact that 3 men are able to outpace the rest of the team? In some games, yes. In other games, that supporting cast is actually necessary. In baseball, it's a little bit different. In football, it's definitely a more focused team effort. Many people hate the Patriots because of things that happen with Spygate and all the different scandals, and the fact that Tom Brady just seemed to win regardless of what the hell happened. Of course, being from around Pittsburgh, Steelers fans absolutely loathe the guy. They basically wish that he'd get hit by a bus already. But for me, it was one of those things where whenever the Giants beat him twice, well, it was simply because they got some bounces. I'll even admit that. Tom Brady and the Patriots could be 5-time Super Bowl champions just within the past decade and a half if it wasn't for a couple of magical plays made by Eli Manning and other members of the New York Giants. So yeah, there's a dynasty that, well, missed a couple of opportunities because a couple people stepped up and made some great plays. The youngest member of the Spurs, Leonard, who was 21 years old, was trying to make some big plays in the waning minutes. However, his efforts came up a little bit short. You definitely need that supporting cast, and, well, the Heat definitely shut down the Spurs. Overall, I'm trying to be as fair and as, down the middle as possible. But still, a part of me just kind of aches on the inside. Simply because it's another super team that's captured a second championship in a row, basically creating another super dynasty. To me, I just don't like the idea. But congratulations to them anyway, and congratulations to the Spurs to taking them to the limit. Limit! Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys would like to hear me talk more about sports, considering this is principally all about music and life in general, well, let me know. Subscribe if you like it, and maybe that's something I'll make a regular fixture on the show. I've thought about doing it for the Pittsburgh Pirates or for Pittsburgh sports, but I kind of like talking about everything. I'm just that kind of guy. See ya.